Hello YouTube, thank you so much for coming. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. Okay, my goal is to leave you better than you found me. If you are new on this channel, consider subscribing. We love you so much for subscribing. So this will be a probably 5-minute video, real quick. What is a gap year? Okay, pay attention, because I've been receiving a lot of comments on what is a gap year, Janet. And I know when people repeat the same thing over and over again, I know there is a reason why they're asking. Okay, so if you didn't know what a gap year, I'm going to explain what a gap year and is, or not what a gap year is, generally what is gap. And that gap, how will it affect the decision at the embassy? They are more likely to give you a visa or deny you a visa depending on how you defend yourself when it comes to gaps. Basically, gap just comes from the word gap, okay? But gap here in America, and mostly what it means is just that period. It's called like a sabbatical leave, when maybe students decide, oh, I'm not going to school this semester, I'll go and travel, I'll go maybe for holiday, I'll take a break with my boyfriend or something, or I'll go get married, or I'll go have children, and then I'll come back to school. And I see your comments, but they'll move very fast because today I'm on the phone. I want to do this video before I enter the house. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving week. I love all of you, even if I don't respond to your comments. So gap will affect you. How do they know gap? So I want you to pay attention to the DS-160. There's a section when you get to the DS-160 application, they will ask you your previous education and also your previous work experience. Okay, I know here in the United States, if you're applying for a job, they don't like to see gaps. In fact, some places they don't like to see gaps of 30 days. They just believe, and by the way, especially some of you who are mothers, if you go and leave and you come back, you feel like rusty, right? You don't feel like going back to work again. Also, employers prefer people who are coming from one job. In fact, they'd rather poach from another company to them rather than have someone who's been staying at home. They just don't trust their skills. So when you have that gap, okay, that period when you are off from work, from school, you have to explain it. So if you go to the embassy and you've explained on the DS-160 about your gap, and they see you graduated in 2017, and since 2017 up to now, you don't have a job, you have not gone for masters. You see, there's a problem. Some of us, we don't pay attention to that. So I want you, when you're filling the DS-160, to complete it nicely. When I say a strong application, these are some of the things you have to pay attention. And this one I promised someone, because I did a video yesterday or the day before, and they asked me about the gap. And this is not the first time I've had people asking me about the gap. Okay, people have asked me about gap for many months now, I think, in the emails. Okay, so you want to make sure when you are writing, like, when did you graduate? To 2017, and this is when, which year are we in? So you want to pay attention. What have I been doing, and what is this paperwork reflecting? And I will explain to you some of the reasons you can give to show that the gap here, you are busy. It's not like it's wrong, but if you show you're busy, so let's say a young man goes to the embassy, says they graduated in 2017, and they stop there. And then maybe they say, well, just volunteering, or maybe something like that in maybe 2022. How do you explain what you did in between? And if they ask you what you did, if you cannot say thank you and be blessed to Peter, I hope you can hear me. Yes, if you cannot explain, there's a problem. My advice is this: don't have those gaps in your application. Keep yourself busy, because you say, Janet, but we don't have jobs. There are many ways to keep yourself busy. Why haven't you gone to a volunteer event? Why haven't you gone to help the homeless? Why haven't you gone to a children's hospital? Why haven't you gone to kitchens somewhere and help them in the kitchen to serve people who are homeless, or people with mental health, or people with disabilities? There are so many people, there are so many things you can do where you are, but we don't see them. And so when the embassy sees those people, they find it very unique. People who do volunteer. Okay, to me, that is one way you can fill in gap. But let me tell you the most common. It's not like gap is bad. Gap just means when you finished 2017, maybe you decided to go to the farm and help your parents, or maybe your parents were sick. After that, you went for a volunteer opportunity before you got a job. That is an explanation. For women, especially who are more, you know, in the childbearing age, it's very common to say, I had children and my goal was after my son or daughter is 2 years old, I was going to go to school. The problem is when the embassy asks you what you've been doing since then, you keep quiet. You have no idea. What you don't know is they are just wanting an explanation. It happens in America all the time. When people go on maternity leave and they come back, maybe they go back to a new job. What do they tell the employer? I went to have a baby. Now the baby is 2 years old. They know that that is inevitable. But generally speaking, if an employer is looking for 2 people who have the same experience, they will give a job to someone who just left the workforce 2 months ago than someone who left the workforce 1 year ago. So basically, that is what a gap year means. I hope this helps you. Okay? Janet, I'm watching you from Dallas, and God increase and bless you a lot. Isabel, I love you so much. And Eliud, I love you back. Janet video talk about something. I'll come to the comment section and see what Eliud said, and I'll make a video for you. So have you learned something? What gap means? Just remember the word gap is just like a, you know, there's an opening somewhere. It needs to be filled. So we need to know what you are doing during this gap season. Okay? Make sure you don't have any, and by the way, the gaps have to be less than 30 days. If you're thinking of gaps, don't make them more than 30 days. At most, make them 3 months. But if you can, you can 30 days. And if you have any gap that is more than 30 days, be ready to explain. When that question comes, what were you doing between? They will not say what happened to your gap. So they are not going to use that word gap, okay? But they will ask you, I see your, they might not even say, I see your resume. But that is what they saw in the DS-160 before they came at the window. They saw there was an opening here and they cannot explain, so they are coming to you for evidence. So it's important for you to do a good job, do a complete. Even when I'm doing forms for people, I tell, never leave it blank. Blank means we can come and fill it with something else. They don't like that. Write N-A, N-A, not applicable or none. I remember when I went to the embassy myself, we used pen and paper those days. We didn't do anything on the computer. But there are things they asked me that I did not have. They asked me US Social Security number I did not have. So instead of leaving it blank, I say none. I remember just writing N-O-N-E. My form was so complete. And you see, if the embassy doesn't see people who do complete forms, you stand out. It had no mistakes. Never ever leave blank spaces. Because you can always come and claim, oh, I forgot. And they know it. Okay? It was oversight on my part. Oh, I didn't know my family is in America. My aunt was there, but I had no idea. Oh, I didn't know, I had forgotten the Social Security. That's why I left it blank. But when you say none, they see honesty. Okay? If you say not applicable, you've already declared not applicable. And that is what they like to see. It just makes you organized. It just makes the forms complete. You just look serious. Okay? So thank you so much for always subscribing, for following, share, come back. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. I'll come down here and see which comments you have. You will be traveling on Thanksgiving Thursday. Okay. Good luck and have a good, wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll keep seeing you before then. Okay? My goal is to leave you better than you found me. Okay? Good luck, guys. Bye-bye. See you in the next video. Bye. Okay?